Okay, well, I'm up on Dartmoor, deja vu there. So I was asked to do a pitching video for the NamMatj 3 GT. So I've no back pain spared, dragged it back up onto Dartmoor, and I'm going to pitch it in this space in here, pretty much where where Lassie is. I need to get that pack off her in a second. So that's what we're going to do. I'll get it out and going to get the tent out, and then we'll proceed from there. Right, well, the NamMatj 3 GT, we'll do this as like a full instruction video plus you know what you get as well. So you get 3 bags, not the wives. We get 3 bags. So 1 bag is for pegs, 1 bag is for walking poles, 1 bag is for tent poles, and then another bag. This obviously I've stuffed the NamMatj 3 GT in this bag. But then the 3rd bag, which is the main bag, when you get it, has the NamMatj 3 GT in it. And it's a big, chunky, beefy piece of kit. So the first thing to do really is to lay it out flat on the ground, hopefully in the direction we want it directed in. And of course, naturally I have it the wrong way around, because on this occasion the wind is blowing in this direction, although as you can see there's 0 wind, but the breeze is coming this way, so we want the door that side also. The breeze is going to do a 180 at some point, so the breeze will come this way briefly, but then it's going to turn to the north and east. So I think, just for convenience and that there's a tiny slope here, that I'll have my head up this end as well. So we're going to have the back down there. I'd actually forgotten how big this. I actually forgotten how big it is. It's it takes up quite a bit of real estate. You've got to have quite a bit of room to pitch it on, because basically it sort of stretches from here, and if I stand here, it's sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really a good 5 paces, although I'm not the tallest of people, but it's surprising how long it is. So I think the next thing to do is just to get it leveled out and straight. Right, so I've just got it pegged out very loosely, 4 pegs at the back, that's it at the moment. So the sleeping area, this is the door here, that's the door. So sleeping area stretches from there back to here. So at the foot end of the NamMatj 3 GT unit tails down, and because this is theoretically the front, and normally you would pitch it tail into the wind, you just get 2 pegs at the front. And it's so big, the very front part here is actually raised up on this little, so you can see it here, this little divot here. It really does take, and there's a divot there, that's a little rise, but that's going to be inside the door. I probably could actually just bring the whole thing just forward this way just a little bit, which I think that's what I'm going to do better. So I've just moved it down that way a bit, and then obviously moved it down, but as you can see it takes up quite a lot of room. So if I stand back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, it really is a good 5 paces long. The sleeping area is 1, 2, 3. So the sleeping area takes up 3 out of 5, whatever that whatever that is. So the sleeping area comes up to this point here, and then the rest of this is basically storage area or dog area. And I said dog area, not doggy area. Right. So now we've got it pegged out, front and back, fairly loosely pegged out. I'll get the poles out and ready. Right, well, inside the pouch thing, you get 3. I'd forgotten it was 3. 3 sets of poles, and there's 1 spare section inside in case you break one. But really, if you're reasonably careful, you probably won't break them. Now, it's actually been a while since I've set this up. I think I think they're all the same length. We'll discover that in a minute for sure. Just be careful when you do put them together that each piece slips in perfectly. You will notice also that they do have a kink. They're a bit kinky. They've got a kink in them. That's a natural curve. So that's one. I won't bore you with the other 2. Okay, so all 3 are the same length. I thought they were going to be. One thing that has happened, and I've not had this tent that long, what, 4 years, something like that. The elastic inside, and this is the last one, so this should be like really stiff, this elastic. But as you can see, it's quite flaccid and floppy. It's quite flaccid and floppy. So that's a little bit disappointing. I have to say. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful when I put this together, because it's not being pulled together. So a great deal of care will be needed on that. I don't know whether other people who have, you know, HILLEBERGs, maybe it's because it just doesn't get much use, but I don't know. Anyway, that's that happened. So just one thing to quickly do before you actually start inserting your pole into your hole is just make sure that all your lines are free, because once you've got the pole in, like any time you get your pole in, you don't really want to be having to take it out again straight away. So just make sure that all your lines, you know, are free of all obstacles. We seem to be ready for insertion time. Come on, this was always going to be loaded with innuendo. So, we'll start inserting our first pole in the rear, at the back end, the rear, the back end. Anyway, so we start on this side. They all go in one way and one side. Okay, so you take your pole and you find your hole, which is in there. Let's give it a shake, make sure it's ready. And you then gently insert the pole and push it all the way through. Now, what's happened, disappointingly, is I haven't even started properly, and this has already happened. So I'm going to have to be exceptionally careful with this. Now, when you get halfway, you'll find you'll have to sort of lift the tent up a little. I'm hoping that you can see this. So you have to lift the tent up and then thread it through, and then in this instance I've got to very carefully just thread that in there. And all the ends here, I see, have come loose. Obviously if it's brand new that won't happen, but I am surprised that that's happened, to be honest. So once it's threaded in the other side, just very carefully in this instance, this really is, I can't imagine an MOD product being so flappy as that. Right, so then pull it down tight. You get a little cup here and you put the end of the pole, yeah, carefully into that cup, and then you can then pull it tight here, and of course that's okay, luckily that's okay, and then that's that part done there. And then we have to do that 2 more times now. This piece here just drops down into this pouch there. I just brought the camera around to show you. Normally you can do it, it'll just thread right through. Thankfully, this one seems okay. So that lifts up there into the little pocket there, and then there's this pull cord here. This pull cord here, pull that just to tighten it up. Okay, so that's an initial setup. We haven't tightened up pegs. Indeed, some of the front pegs here have come a little bit loose, so we will just need to readjust things. But I must admit, for a tent, it's not bad looking. Not bad looking at all. Just sodding heavy, and really, like I said, you know, I think it's going to be nice sleeping in it for a couple of nights, but you really don't need anything like this. Get something MLD. Right, so let's do a couple of, I'm going to do a few tent peg things front and back, and then I'll get back to you. Right, and the front has this tie off point here, so you can put your peg in and then pull that cord tight, and then you have the same over there. The back bizarrely, and I can't quite work out why, but this pegging point here and that pegging point there is quite literally just a loop, and there's no way of actually tightening it. I think you just have to sort of pull it out as much as you can and shove your peg in. And I also think that if you peg out here, so if you peg out these 2 points here, which you can't tighten, and these two at the corners, which you can, then peg out the front, tighten the front up, and by tightening the front up, that kind of automatically tightens up this at the back. And of course you can tighten the corners up even more here and over there. Once that's done, you then have to peg out all of you also then have to peg out all the other pegging out points, and there's quite a few of them, although in all honesty in this weather we probably don't need them all, but we'll do it anyway. And in all honesty, with this weather, it would probably be fine with just 2 at the front and 4 at the back. I don't think you would really necessarily need more than that. I probably would, under any circumstances, peg this one here out and the one at the back as a minimum, but we'll peg them all out. So first of all, you need to choose 6 pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you need 6 because at the end of each pole, 1, 2, 3, there's a loop. And it's not just me that's loopy. So take your pole and the thing and thread it through. Ouch, there. Again, there's no way of tightening these up. I think they're just general loops for holding, you know, it in place. In all honesty, for the few seconds that it takes to do this. It's probably worth doing anyway for security. Because if you're inside and a few of the local sheep join you and it gets a little bit rambunctious in there, you might you might be thankful you're well pegged out. You never have enough protection. So after that, you then need to peg out this one. And of course, unlike most MLD things that I have, which I can never pitch to the ground or never have a particular desire to pitch to the ground, you don't have any choice with this. This is pitching to the ground pretty much whether you like it or not. There's still 6 more to go. 1, 2, 3 tie-out points. So if I put the camera here, now I remember my friend Stuart, I don't know if Stuart's going to be watching this or not, but I remember him once commenting on how I pegged out the doorway, and considering one comment suggested that I was possibly upper class, not quite sure how to get that idea from. I actually did a test, and when I did the test it came out as middle upper. Although another one, very cheekily, said working class. I'm quite sure how they came to that conclusion. Anyway, most insulting. I'm not insulting working class people. Don't you just lost all your subscribers? I mean, what ones? I mean, you know, anyway, we'll carry on. So, given Stuart's comments, I've pitched these fairly straight, so we have a little straight walk-in area, sort of guides you in this way. Normally, of course, when you were doing it properly, and so I don't end up tripping over it, I'll spread them out a bit. I'll spread them apart. So yeah, normally you'd have that one that way a bit and that one that way a bit. So we've got 3 pegs, and then they come around the other side. So this is how I would really peg it properly here, with one at the back facing back, so if the wind was blowing, you know, very firmly in that direction, you have maximum holding power here. That's why obviously you've got 2 outriders, I nearly said 2 hangers, and a night rider here pegged to that point there, plus obviously your 4 pegs at the back. So back is being held by 2, 4, 6, 7 pegs. The front, by contrast, is held by 1, 2, 3. So the front is held by 3 and the rear by 7. Okay, and that's basically a pitching guide. Now we've got to get inside it and find out whether it's all pitched properly inside. The one bit that's not quite to the ground is I've found this new pointy thing is this bit here, because obviously I've got a little mountain of turf here. Right, at the back because there's absolutely no wind, we need maximum ventilation. So my experience of these is you get some condensation in them, so we're going to open this vent. You do get a tag for tying it here and here. It's not windy, so I'm going to leave it. And then there's another bug netting, or actually this one is solid. Here, okay, it's been a while since I've used it. So this one's solid. So that's for maximum ventilation. And then if we do this one up, that might help keep the bugs out. Seems strange really, because you would have thought that for protection against weather, that the outer one would be the solid wall to protect the bug net inside. Anyway, there must be a reason why they did it that way. So again, we'll do the bug netting up just to help against bugs. And then we will make the grand entrance. This is I have a feeling this is going to be a long video. When were my videos ever not long? So for the grand entrance, the door opens here all the way around. Okay, then we've got this. You can tell it's been a while since I've used it, because there's this flappy stuff here. Okay, of course there's another zip down there. Okay, I got it. Alright, I'll show you all in a minute. So let's do... No, we can start again. We'll edit that bit out. Any number of zips on this thing. You can open it up all sorts of different ways. Okay. So we take the zip around that way, that zip around that way, and that zip around that way. And we'll just put the door there for now. I'll do something more with that door in a minute. And then the bug door here, that opens up there, and all of that goes around there. And here we are. Just be careful when you come and go, you don't trip over that line there. And here we are inside. Actually, you know, I'll tell you one thing. Whilst it's really, really nice, first of all, it seems a lot warmer. I'm probably going to open the vents, because I'm probably going to leave this inner door with the vent open as well for the moment. But it feels quite dark and gloomy in here. Okay, so you can start the zip over here and unzip this and open this door all the way up, and there is also bug netting on that as well. And I have to say that's a big old area. My shoes are clean, so I'm not going to worry about shoes. I can stretch out here, and my head's near the door. The only one downside to the slope on this, bearing in mind that I'm not a tall person and I have no mat here, no sleeping bag, and you can clearly see, and my head is as pretty much near the door as I can get it. You can see that my feet are very close to touching that. So if you have a mat and a sleeping bag, your mat or your sleeping bag is going to be touching that. I don't think it's a problem. I guess it's not. It's just something to just, you know, be aware of, especially in, you know, winter. You could lose some down. You know, your down could get a bit compressed. But apart from the, you know, apart from the foot issue, which, you know, is barely an issue at all, it is nice in here. And of course, the other thing that I don't like while I'm banging on about everything I kind of partly dislike, is because I'm left-handed, the door's on the wrong side. Of course, there's nothing you can do about that. But I would prefer the door that side, just as a personal preference. But again, once you're in here, it's so big. It's so big, it doesn't really matter where the door is. Lass has already settled down. Over the next couple of days, I might do a couple of other little clips and add it into this video. I might find other little bits and quirks and things like that from using it for 2 nights that I can add in. So for now, I'm going to end this video, go back to the camping video. Okay, now I'm back from my walk, and it's virtually 24 hours since I got here. So yesterday we did the pitching video. I think now is probably a good time and a good opportunity for a few minutes just to show you inside the NamMatj 3GT. So if we start right at the front, you have a vent right here. So this is the front, and you can see out there. So you have one hook, one loop here, and another loop here. So if you want, both of these can be rolled up and secured so they don't flap around. They can be done up individually or together. One is a bug net, and one obviously is a water resistant cover. And then you obviously have zips. I'm not going to do them up. Then you have a zip here for one and a zip here for the other. And you can do either or both together. Moving to the door. Actually, I think I'll talk about the door at the end, because that's lots of options there. So just inside, you've got a pocket here and a pocket here. Right, so once you're inside, the first zip you can undo is this zip here. And that gives you your vent. And I have to say, it's quite neatly done in such a way that you can, it doesn't zip all the way down. So the cover kind of folds in on itself, which is, I must admit, kind of neat. For a tent, that's for a tent, that's very clever. And then obviously you can open up the whole thing here, like that. And I guess one of the uses of the pocket is you can, if you want to, stuff everything in the pocket there. So moving back a bit, so you do get a washing line here. On MLD shelters you have to attach your own. On a posh HILLEBERG you get a washing line. Then back here you have the same configuration. Actually, let's start back here. So back here you have the same configuration as the front. So you have a bug cover and, you know, a more sheltered cover for the elements. Both can be tied off, both can be opened or closed independently. And at the moment, as the bugs don't seem to be around, I'm going to leave both open. Overnight I closed everything. Last night I closed the bug covers, but not the shelter covers, because there was a few bugs around. And then this cover here again is for the inner, and this gives you bug protection. And of course, if you do that one up, it gives you more wind protection. Apart from if it was really, really bad outside, I can see absolutely no reason why you would want to do this up. Maybe if it was snowing and you didn't want snow getting in or something like that, maybe you'd be inclined to do it up. Other than that, I can see no reason why you would do that up. And I would probably leave the bug open, apart from if there were bugs around, for maximum ventilation. I don't know why anybody would want a tent like this. MLD! So, so carrying on. So that's inside. And then let's go to the door. With the door you can do up the main door when it's not catching. And that's the door done up. So that's sort of maximum protection. And obviously that's the bug net. Now, it might be that you don't want the outer door done up and you only want the bug, which is what I did last night. In which case you open up the outer door, like that. And this is what I did last night. I just did the bug netting up, and even though it rained, because the door's over, kind of like over here, I did do the bug netting up in here, so that gave a little bit of protection, you know, to me. But even though it rained and it wasn't windy, so there was no wind blown rain, so, you know, even if you get some rain, the rain isn't going to get into you over here unless it's really, really, you know, really, really windy. You could do that up. And the door, you actually get, there's 4 zips, on the door there's 4 zips. So you can have the door undone like this. You've also got 2 zips down here and here. So you can have the door, obviously you wouldn't leave it like that, but actually it'll make quite a good dog flap. Actually that's quite a good dog flap actually there. So if you have it like that, you've got a dog flap. Dog or cat flap there. But if you were worried about rain getting to you, then you could leave it hanging loose like that. You've got all sorts of different, if it's raining you're probably not going to want the bug netting, but you've got loads and loads of different options on this thing. You could be here for hours playing with this. You can take the bug netting out by the looks of it. I just discovered that. And as I say, if the rain's not so bad, but there is some rain, then you could probably leave it kind of like in dog flap scenario here, because rain is hardly likely to get to you under that bit there, and yet you've got coverage up here from the rain. And obviously if you have vents open front and back, then you're not going to get, you will get condensation. Although I have to say there wasn't any condensation last night, which is good. And that pretty much concludes my rundown of the HILLEBERG NAMMATJ 3 GT. I will say as tents go, of course, it is a very, very nice. It is a very, very nice tent. It's just for this type of thing, and for most purposes it's probably completely and utterly overkill. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a nice tent. Here endeth my rundown review of the HILLEBERG NAMMATJ 3 GT, if you can call it a review, whatever. It's probably quite long. Thanks for watching. Share, subscribe, hit the notification button I hear everybody talking about now, and keep an eye out for more videos from this twit down south in the future. Thanks for watching this one. There's a bag review, or I don't know if I do reviews. Anyway, there's a video on bags, not old bags, and then obviously there'll be the camping video as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.